Mr. Irontrader, it is Christmas Eve already. Wow, this is really something. All right, I want to wish everybody, first of all, a nice Merry Christmas. I'm only going to have the one video for you here today, and then I'll be back on Friday. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, at Ethereum, gold, silver, crude oil, and natural gas. Now, on crude oil, the API number came out last night, and crude had a build of 2.4 million. Gasoline had a build of 1.1 billion. This had a build of 0.7, and Cushing had a build of 0.6 million. Now, the EIA report will be out today at 10:30, so we'll see if it correlates with what we had last night. Okay, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation by selling stock by ETH. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have Bitcoin, your daily chart. Okay, so we still have that downtrending situation. So we had a lot of big predictions that where this was going to go here to 150 by the end of the year, and really with this rally here that was going here very strong, it looked like it was possibly could get there, but then you can see how it just sold right on off, kind of a situation. Okay, so this is why you always want to trade the charts. When you see this this red candle on that low, that tells you right there that you just got to get off. Came all the way down, held that 200-day. Rallied up here, but you notice that it just couldn't hold it, and now we have a downtrending situation. Okay, so on the downside, what you're really watching right here is that 87,146, that's your 8-day. If we lose that, we'll come out to yesterday's low at 86,580. Then we can work yourself all the way down here to this price channel. You're looking at 84,120 level, and then we can come all the way down to the retest down there at 8750. Now, we've got to see how it all shakes out next year, but if we lose that level there, then we're going to be coming to, is going to come right down to the bottom here, 79,055, and it will come down there at 78,495. We'll come down to the bottom there at 76,390, and then here's your big retest down there at 74,635 level. Now, again, if it came down there and it held that level, that could be a really good buying opportunity here to reverse this. Now, I think Bitcoin will change next year. I really believe that I think you'll have an uptrend. We have a lot of selling going on this year, a lot of profit taking. But again, we got to see. So, I always look at it doesn't really make any difference. It's a two-rate trade. For me, I use BITX for the long and then BITI there for the old short ski. Okay. So now on the upside, this is your key level. It's right there, 89,578. Got to get above that. That's your 21-day. And then we have that 96.10 level. Okay, now we get above that. We work ourselves right up here. You got that 91,660 level. We'll come up there. We come up there at that 93.70 level. And then we'll be looking for that price channel at 94,950 level. Okay, but the key is going to be right here, that 89,578. That is your 21-day. Now, you can see how your 21-day now is starting to level off, but let's just see how that shakes out. So if we get that 8-day to curl back up, maybe we can push it up at least to that level there, 94,950. Now, we get above that, then we have that 97,482 level. That is your 50-day. Then we come down to the bottom of that candle. You're looking at 97,905. We come down here, looking at 99,250 level. Then we can just start working ourselves all the way up here, 94,230. We'll come down here at 101.20 level, and then we were looking for that 103,781, your 200-day, and then your 100-day, obviously, just sitting right above it. So again, don't have any opinion, just trade these charts. Now, we had a good uptrend going here, but realistically, when you look at this, we had a bear flag situation, okay? So then we broke that trend line going on the upside, and now we're just kind of consolidating. So the key is going to be this 84,120 on the downside, which is basically the bottom of that candle, and then the risk rate here is going to be 87.50. We lose that, we got a really good chance of retaking, okay, that 74,635 level, okay? On the upside, you got to get above that 21-day, then we can maybe hit for that nice price channel going on there, and then maybe possibly that 50-day, 100-day, and maybe even that 200-day. Now, you're sitting here at 41. That's not overbought or oversold. The green is over your reds, which means it shows that like the momentum there to the upside. So we do have a good sideways action here. So let's just see how this all shakes out. So this is why you want to trade the charts. But remember, no opinion. Right now, this is a trade, okay, in both directions. Okay, let's take a look here now at Ethereum. All right, here we have Ethereum. You can see it's pretty much the same thing as the Bitcoin, okay? Came right on down. We had that like a bear flag situation. We had that trend line going on up, broke that, and now we have that sideways consolidation, okay? So downside, you're watching that 8-day, 29.31 level, Okay, we lose that. We'll come down to yesterday's low at 29 flat. Then we can redo this retest at 27, 28 level, which is basically the bottom of that candle. And then we have all the way down here that 26, 27. Now, if we lose that, your big target is all the way down here at that 21.75 level. Okay, but again, we just have this sideways action. Let's just see if it can, work its way on up. Now, again, 21-day 3037. That's going to be very, very critical. Then we have 3132. That's your 200-day. Then we come to the top of this candle, 3185. We'll come up there at 3275. But realistically, you're looking for that 3327. That is your 50-day. And then the retest of that price channel at 3461, which is the top of that candle. Okay, and then if we can break that, then we have a shot at that 3837, which is your 100-day. But right now, this is the same thing as Bitcoin. This is a trade. This is not, I'm going all long or I'm going all short. This is a long and short kind of a situation. Now, 43, that's not overbought or oversold. The green is here, sideways action. So this is pretty much what we have going on here. So don't get too excited about this. Just trade the old Ethereum. All right, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. All right, here we have gold, here we have silver. We got these parabolic moves going on up here, okay? So just like what we had going on here, okay? So now you can see here you're in an overbought condition, but again, just like in the past, you can stay that way, okay? And that just shows all of a sudden all the very, very good relative strength going on in this commodity. The green is over your red, so it has a good upswing to the upside. Now, let's say we hit this high at 45. We're looking for 4,500. Now we're going to work here to 4,600. That's going to be your next step. But realistically, I think you're going to gel this all the way to 5,000. I think really that's what we'll be looking at next. Now, on the downside, you want to watch today's low, 44.96. We watched yesterday's low, 44.57. But the 8 days, everything, 44.10. 21-day, 43.07, 50-day is 41.85. Now, when you get these parabolic moves, a lot of times is you'll have it like this. But again, when gold gets out of favor, this can be very, very dramatic. Now, watch my video yesterday. I showed you a 20-year chart of silver where it rallied all the way up to 49. And then when she cracked, she can't crack her in right below 20 there very, very easily. And then it just sits there for years and years and years. So again, ride the wave, but make sure you get off before you hit that beach because that's going to leave a mark, okay? So you can see how when it rallies all the way up here, it gets to a point and then it'll just sell right on off. So again, just don't get caught. For me, I just trade the GLD every day. I'm just going to be trading this. I'm not really holding it because, again, eventually this will come off and it will come off hard. But right now, you just want to ride that wave. We're looking for 4,600 next, and then we're going to work our way up to that 5,000 mark. Silver is exactly the same thing. We have 72. I'm looking for that 70. Now I'm looking for 75 mark, okay? So right now we hit this high of 72.75, and I think you're going to work yourself right up there. Yeah, obviously 73 and then 74. Now, and then I think we're going to go right to that 75 before I think we're going to get pretty close to maybe a good, at least a correction or a good consolidation kind of situation. But now we have just that big peak going on here. You can see how that is. Okay, this is not something where I say, hey, I'm going to take, I'm going to get in. But right now, you got FOMO, man. Fear of missing out here. A lot of people are jumping in. But again, when the big boys start selling, this can get absolutely hammered. And that's one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to be on the old hammer side, okay? So what we're watching on the downside, watch the top of that candle, 69.52. Watch the bottom there, 68.72. But really, this 8 day, 67.52 is everything because all you got to do is look at the past. We lose that, you got your 21-day, we got your 50-day, we got your 100-day. But right now, as long as we're above that 8 day, it's sideways to up action. Now, you got to figure, at least look at the past here. We've had, like, say, a couple of days, and then it goes consolidation. 3 days, consolidation. Now what we'll do is we're getting up to the 3 days. Maybe we'll get a consolidation. But I think we're going to work yourself up to that 75, and I think you're going to work yourself up to that 5,000 mark here on the old gold. Okay, let's take a look here now at the old crude oil. All right, here we have crude oil. Now remember, the EIA report will be out today at 10:30. Let's see if it confirms that API last night, but we had all builds going on. So let's just see. Now remember, crude oil is in play. Okay, now I showed you a seasonality chart there yesterday. Crude oil is in play right now till about the first week of January, and then it takes a good dive in January, and then it flatlines until mid-February kind of situation. So this here is nothing that says, oh, geez, I'm shocked. Why is the crude oil up? This is nothing. Just look at a seasonality chart. Go to equityclock.com. Everything you need to know is sitting right there for you, okay? So right now here we busted above that 21-day. Now we're looking for the 50-day. This is everything, this 58.95 level. You got to get and close back above that. If we can, then we can start hitting some of these levels. You got 59.64 level. We come up here, you got 60.02 level. We come up top of this candle, you got that 60.30, and then we'll be looking for that 60.50 level on the price channel. Now again, get above that, 60.96, and then we have 63.02. But just remember, this is a seasonality trade right now, okay? You buy it the first second week of December, and you ride it to the first week of January. So you got a seasonality trade. It has nothing to do with supply and demand situation. So remember that. But just watch that 50-day, very, very key. Downside right there, 58.09. Okay, that's going to be your key. That's your 21-day, and then we lose that. You come down here, 57.74. Then we have your 8-day at 57 flat. We come down to the bottom, 56.60. We come down there, 55.61, and then you retest at 55.98. We lose that. You got 53, 50, 47, and you can work yourself all the way down to 43. Now, the green crossed over your red shows momentum to the upside, which is right there, and you're only sitting at 51. But just remember, this is a seasonal trade. Just remember that. Okay, let's take a look here now at natural gas. All right, here we have natural gas, another seasonal trade. Okay, so you can see where it's sold right on off here. We had that low of 3.84. We retested all the way down here at 3.79. We never made it to the gap right down here at 375. That was your sport level. We held that so far. If we lose that, then we have obviously your 100-day, and we have your 200-day, and we have your gap fill. Okay, now you can see here the nice big ass red candle. It blew right through it. That was a really good trade in the UNG. Now look, we have old sticky. Now, yeah, did we get above that 21-day? But you got to close above that 21-day. That's going to be key, 4.49. If we can, then we go to today's high, 4.59. We look up here at 4.63, and then we'll look at the top of that candle at that 4.69 level. Okay, then once we jump above that, we can come up to here. Okay, you're looking at that 487, and then we just venture these candles right there, 498. We got 503, and then we come up there at 509, and then we have 520, and then we have your big retest there at that 549 level. Okay, but you have to get above and close above that 21-day in order to do that. So what I'll be looking for is a trade today on the UNG, but I'm looking for it can't be this pop and drop topping tail here. We got to get and close back above that 21-day. Then we got a good shot at retesting that 549. Now on the downside, you want to watch obviously today's low. You're looking at that 4.35 level. Then we'll come here. You're looking at 425. We look at 421, and right here, this 419, that 50-day is everything. We lose that. You have the 8-day, okay, and then we have yesterday's low at 394, and then your big retest down here at that roughly 380 mark kind of situation is what you're looking for. Now, you're only looking at a 52. That's not overbought, oversold. The green is here, hasn't crossed over yet, but again, watch that 21-day if you're trading this. You got to get and close above it. You can't have pop and drop. That's why you trade the charts, okay? So you got to make sure that we get above that. You close above it. Then we got a good shot at maybe retesting that 5.4 number. Okay, so for me, UNG for the long, KLD for the short, working very, very nicely. All right, that's what I got for you. Now, remember, it's a shortened day today. The market's only open till 1 o'clock. So don't get too excited about it. Futures right now on a NASDAQ are pretty flat. It's up to like 2. So it's really not a whole lot of trading, but let's just see if we can make a couple of trades today. We'll see. And then remember, Christmas there is on Thursday. But again, the market is open on Friday all day. So, maybe we can see what happens. But the volume, remember, the volume is going to be extremely, extremely low. So Merry Christmas to everybody, and I will see you Friday morning. All right, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing up bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells chiming, jingle bell time. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In